This is Monday, September 8th, 57 days until the 2008 presidential election. It might be time for an entirely new definition of the word maverick. No longer is it someone who holds independent views, nor one who refuses to conform, nor a basketball player from Dallas. Rather, in our fifth story on the countdown, the term as it applies to the Republican nominee, Senator McCain, would seem increasingly to refer to the continued repetition of out-and-out lies, including the Republican ticket's now daily assertion that the would-be vice president, Governor Palin, has always been against the world record pork barrel project that was Alaska's bridge to nowhere. Presently, my interview today with Senator Obama. First, the latest campaign news. Senator McCain and Governor Palin having erased Senator Obama's post-convention bounce, basically getting their campaign a net gain of a point or two from before both parties did the big tent thing, plus some gaudier outliers. The Arizona Republican now leading by 50% to 46% in the USA Today Gallup poll taken over the weekend. But the race tied at 48 in the new opinion research survey for CNN, also tied at 44 in the latest Diageo Hotline poll, with a significant number of voters, 10% still undecided in that survey. And in the most recently released of the polls, another statistical dead heat in the new one from the Washington Post, Obama 47, McCain 46 among registered voters. Meanwhile, the McCain campaign claimed that Governor Palin has always been against Alaska's so-called bridge to nowhere, having been discredited since her very first hours on the ticket 10 days ago and counting. That has not, however, stopped the Republicans from repeating it again and again, most recently and perhaps most egregiously in a new campaign ad in which the Republican nominees christened themselves the original Mavericks, plural.
The original Mavericks. He fights pork barrel spending. She stopped the bridge to nowhere. He took on the drug industry. She took on big oil. He battled Republicans and reformed Washington. She battled Republicans and reformed Alaska. They'll make history. They'll change Washington. McCain, Palin. Real change.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
I had the chance to ask Senator Obama for his response to that new McCain-Palin ad when he joined me earlier today from the campaign trail in Flint, Michigan. Senator, thanks for your time. I'm sorry I couldn't join you in person, but I had to update people on quarterback injuries or something like that.
Thanks, Keith.
This is a
tough day for quarterbacks.
Yeah, it is. Brady's out. This is more about campaign tactics to start with, rather than issues. But it seems like sometimes like tactics have replaced issues altogether. He fights pork barrel spending, says this new McCain-Palin ad. She stopped the bridge to nowhere. I mean, it sounds a little like Remington Steele, but I'm confused otherwise. As late as October of 2006, Mrs. Palin insisted to voters in Alaska that not only would she defend that infamous bridge, but she also said, and here's the quote, she would not allow the spinmeisters to turn this project or any other into something that's so negative. What are Senator McCain and Governor Palin doing in this new commercial, do you think?
They're not telling the truth. I mean, I think we've all gotten accustomed to being able to spin things in politics. But when you've got somebody who was for a project being presented as being against it, then that stretches the bounds of spin into new areas. And as far as John McCain's concerned, I think that Senator McCain has on occasion broken with his party, but this notion that, as he said at his convention, that he would tell the lobbyists that they're not going to be running Washington anymore, who's he going to tell? His campaign chairman, Charlie Black, his campaign manager, Rick Davis, two of the largest corporate lobbyists in Washington with client lists that extend into every major industry. There is just a sense that they're making these assertions that ignore the facts of their campaigns and their past history, and I think people should be troubled by that.
And Governor Palin hired a lobbyist to get earmarks to the tune of $27 million for a 6,000-person town, which is in its own scope is kind of a neat trick, but it does seem to counterbalance the basic platform of the Republican Party. Well, you said that they're not telling the truth here, but when the stuff is a gross distortion, whether it's about their own positions or yours or facts in your history or whatever, what can you do about it, and why do people hesitate to use the word lie about these things?
Well, look, we have been very clear about the fact that this argument John McCain and Sarah Palin are making, that they're agents of change, just won't fly. It defies their history and their background. And we saw it in the convention, that they wouldn't talk about the basic issues that are really going to make a difference in the lives of middle-class families. So, I'm happy to have legitimate policy debates with them on where we want to take health care, what we want to do about energy, what we want to do about education, what are we going to do about the war in Iraq. But for them to run an ad that basically doesn't present an accurate record of their positions on issues, I think should raise some questions about how they would approach an administration.
To something from your own convention, maybe the most compelling moment of your acceptance speech in Denver was that one strongly voiced word, enough. A lot of people who have felt angry about what's been done to this country in the last 7 or 8 years have that same sense of urgency and simplicity to it. Have you thought of using on the campaign trail and in your speaking engagements more exclamation points? Have you thought of getting angrier?
Well, I tell you what, with 2 months to go, I think everybody needs to feel a sense of urgency. When I hear John McCain suggest that he's going to bring about change, I am reminded of the cartoon that Tom Tolles did in the Washington Post, where he has McCain say, watch out, George Bush, with the exception of the economy, tax policy, foreign policy, health care policy, education policy, and Karl Rove politics, we're really going to shake things up in Washington. The fact of the matter is that not only has John McCain agreed with George Bush 90% of the time, this is the party that's been in charge for 8 years. And they're now trying to run against themselves, despite a few months ago having argued that John McCain saying that, listen, I've been supportive of George Bush, boasting about it. I said, I think on Saturday in Indiana, the American people aren't stupid. They are going to get it, but we've got to make sure that we are being clear, not only that they will not bring about change, but the very specific kinds of changes we want to bring in terms of green technology jobs in America, investing in our education system, making college more affordable, making health care accessible to every American. That contrast, if we go into November with that contrast on the minds of the American people, I think we're going to do well.